Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and you are listening to Tom Clark's Main Event. This is episode number 89 of the podcast, and if you're joining us today for the very first time, we will bid you welcome. If you're coming back for a repeat visit, we say, hey, thanks for checking back in with us. And to all those involved, we will extend to you, as always, the customary laurel and a hearty handshake. Thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Thanks for supporting. And hey, thanks for always being there, Doc. Episode 89 of the show. How's about that? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome to Tom Clark's Main Event. Glad you are with us. So, I'm in a good mood today, man. A lot of things going good for yours truly. Can't complain too much. And you know what? If I did complain, who would listen anyway? So, hear the chimes in the background. This is an interesting show. This is not a typical show. This is the second time we've took the broadcast to Facebook Live. So, if you happen to see this on Facebook Live, you didn't get to hear any of this because I'm actually recording this intro after the fact. But if you didn't see it on Facebook Live, this is all new to you. So, there you go. But, yeah, man, it's something different. Like I said, I think it's the only second time I've done it. Second time, yes. The good thing about this, though, is that with a podcast you listen to, you don't have to worry about the glare. Because, man, my office upstairs in my house here, I got a crazy glare, like the sun coming straight through the blinds. And I try to angle the phone so you don't get all that. But you know what? It is what it is, man. There's no such thing as mistakes when you're live, right? I keep telling myself that all the time. So maybe one day I'll believe it myself. So, yeah, man, hope everybody out there is doing good. We've got some stuff to cover today. This is kind of a hodgepodge episode, as I've done many times in the past. And let's just go ahead and get right down to it, shall we? This time, the main event is WWE Superstar Shakeup, Soapbox, and Other Stuff. That's a big title, right? I can't help it, man. I may tweak that sucker. So, like, when you see the title, it may not be exactly that. So, it won't be as advertised. Card subject to change, my friend. What are you going to do? So, we're still about a week out from WrestleMania 34, still feeling the effects of it, yes. It was a fun show, fun night. I enjoyed it tremendously. I thought it was a really good show. A lot of people are still throwing some shade at it. It's whatever. Can't please everybody all the time. That's just life. What are you going to do? But I enjoyed it very much. This podcast is going to discuss, like we said, the Superstar Shakeup, some other stuff. I kind of got off on a few rants. Some old friends showed up during the Facebook Live sesh, and I talked a little bit about the old days being in the business, being in pro wrestling. So let's not waste any further time, shall we? Let's go ahead and get to it and take you straight to the audio from Facebook Live. Let's do this, folks. Here we go. All right. So Facebook Live time once again. This is only the second time I've done this. And for anyone listening to the podcast, as we said before, you don't have to worry about the glare coming through the window. However, everyone else does. So my apologies. There's only so much I can angle the thing. I don't know what they call the thing that holds the phone. There's a name for it. I have no idea. But I ordered it anyway, and I use it to hold the iPad above the TV so I can have two screens at once. And then also I do the third screen on the laptop because I am nothing if not technologically proficient. So there you are. So let's talk a little bit about, and I don't know if we're going to get anybody showing up here. If we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. However, we're going to do the show anyway, right? So I don't even care. So let's talk about some headlines that are happening right now. For any wrestling fans out there, you know Bruno Sammartino has passed away. Condolences and much respect, much love to the family of one Bruno Sammartino, a wrestling legend in the business, and he will be missed. He touched a lot of people. Any guy that has put in the amount of years that Bruno put in and done as much for the business as Sammartino did, then he deserves all the props that you could possibly give him. And of course, obviously, he has very much contributed to the business. Of course, he's one of the guys that helped lay the foundation, and he was a huge draw. Sold out Madison Square Garden, God knows how many times. I forget the number. It's insane how big the number is. Here's an unpopular opinion, and I say this with all due respect. I have never been a fan of Bruno Sammartino. I respect him, and I appreciate what he did for the business and for WWF in particular. However, I grew up an old school wrestling fan. I grew up NWA fan, Mid-Atlantic, Jim Crockett Promotions, Georgia Championship Wrestling from Florida. Basically, the Crockett territory is what I grew up watching, as a lot of us did. So anytime I saw Bruno or his ilk in WWF, I just sort of shrugged. I said, that's not really pro wrestling in my opinion. It's a bunch of big hairy dudes smacking each other with forearms across the back. And I didn't see that as pro wrestling. I saw what Dusty and Rick were doing as pro wrestling. I just didn't. The big bruiser kind of guys, I think you can take them in moderation, but when I think your top guy is a bruiser sort of guy, and again, I say this with all due respect to Bruno and to honor his memory, obviously, but I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. He just wasn't, wasn't what I considered a great pro wrestler. That's just me. Had I grown up in New York, maybe up north somewhere, maybe I would be of a different mindset. However, that's just not where I'm coming. It's not where I'm coming from on this right now. So again, all due respect and our deepest condolences to Sammartino's family, and much respect, much love for everything he did for the business. A lot of people are very upset today, and I can understand that. So Godspeed, Bruno Sammartino. Let's touch a little bit on some things that have happened recently. The Superstars shakeup, obviously, which just took place on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. I like to tell you that I'm all about it, that I enjoyed every second of it. I can't say that for sure because I don't know that I did. There were some cool surprises. I don't know that any one of the rosters got, really anything monumental happen. I know, pretty sure SmackDown got stronger, yes. SmackDown got a lot stronger than it was. There were some surprises out there. A lot of people thought maybe Shinsuke was going to move to SmackDown, or move to Raw, and then some people thought maybe Seth or Finn. I don't know, man. I don't get too caught up in all of the stuff back and forth, things like that. It's whatever. I just sort of take the program as it is and see what happens. Big Cass returned. I like the fact that he got Daniel's face and he says something to the effect of, so this is what all the fuss is about, which is exactly what a big guy would say to a small guy. He would completely disrespect Bryan because he's a heel and he doesn't really understand what Bryan did for the company and he could care less. But I think throwing Cass in there is a good idea because you want the payoff for Bryan and Miz to be good. I don't know how long that's going to take. Everybody sort of expected Miz to be on SmackDown last night. Yours truly included. However, he did not show. Sent a video instead. He's supposed to be Father of the Year now or something. Got his little baby there. He's supposed to be heel, by the way, too. So you're still supposed to hate him, but you're supposed to respect him at the same time. I don't know. It's that company. What do you expect, man? It's bizarro world, as Jerry Lawler would say, right? So I like Cass. I always have. I think the company has seen dollars in Cass every time they looked at him. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think that getting him away from Enzo and forcing him to go on his own, it was tough in the beginning because Enzo was obviously the better of the two. But now that Enzo's out of the picture and Cass can focus on just being himself and building his own main event career, I think he's got something ahead of him. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what the company sees in him, to be honest with you. I have no clue. But I can tell you one thing, man. He's got huge braces on those knees, dude, already. So I don't... It's tough business, man. It'll kill your knees. I'm going to tell you right now. So I don't know. Especially for a guy his size. I mean, you got to have your legs for a guy that big, which is going to be his biggest challenge from the moment he stepped in and moving forward. It is what it is. But, all the best, man. I'm interested to see what they do with him, and hopefully it's something cool. I'm looking forward to it. Daniel Bryan back in the mix. The the shakeup and everything that happened, the guys moving to SmackDown Live, I'm going to tell you, man, the fact that Daniel Bryan is back, and I'm going to say this, I'm not going to call the guy out because I don't remember who wrote it, no clue, but the week that Daniel came back, when he announced that he was, that he had been officially medically released, medically cleared to come back to wrestling full time, someone wrote a comment and said, well, whether they know it or not, he is now the face of the company. Let me tell you something. This is me. And again, you can listen to my opinion. You can take my analysis. You can shrug it off. You can say that I'm smart, that I'm not smart, whatever you want to say. Completely fine, dude. It's whatever. It's fine. We all have our own opinions. But whenever you make, as a pro wrestling writer, when you're on this side of the fence and you do what we do, when you make these huge, bold, sweeping statements about this is how it is, this, by God, is the truth, dude, you are backing yourself into a corner, and when you're wrong, you're going to be an idiot, okay? I'm not saying you have to be neutral to the point of not taking a side and not having an opinion. I don't want to be the guy to do that. I do have opinions, obviously. But don't sit there and tell me that Daniel Bryan is the face of WWE the day he announces he's coming back. No, he's not. The face of that company is Roman Reigns. You want to know how I know? Because they're paying him as the top guy. That's how I know. He's on top. He's what they want. You got to be out of your mind to believe otherwise. All due respect to whoever wrote that column. Much love. Whatever. But again, big, bold, sweeping statements, and things of that nature. I don't know, dude. I don't really go for it all that much, so it's whatever. But having said that, I will say this. Daniel Bryan, in my opinion, could go on a tear that would possibly top what he did before. Now, again, we all have the propensity to be wrong, yes? Who knows? I think WWE must allow that to happen, and I wrote a column a couple of weeks ago. I think it was for the Chairshot. Talking about will WWE allow another Yes movement? It's in the company's hands. It was in the company's hands when they first started pushing Daniel after Team Hell No. It was in the company's hands the night that they were on the ring on Raw, and they were supposed to be talking about John versus Randy, and they were all chanting Daniel's name. Remember that? Oh my God, such good stuff. And it was up to the company then, and they didn't do anything. And then it was up to the company later to say, screw it, they want him, let's do it. So they pushed him up there and did everything they did with him with WrestleMania 30. It was all the company's call. And they can, we can sit back all day long, and we can say that without the fans, Daniel Bryan's rise would not have happened. He admits that. I say that. We all say that because it's the truth, okay? And what's up, Lewis? And, we all know that. But at the same time, the company is in control. The least you forget, the company is in control, okay? And it was the same during Austin's rise. And I know it's apples and oranges in some respects, I get that. But just because a guy gets red hot does not mean he's going to take the world by storm. He still works for the McMahon family, dude. They're the ones calling the shots. If they've already got plans in motion for one guy, two guys, whoever, and then this guy number 3 gets red hot, okay, what's this guy going to do? Just take over? The fans might dictate that he does, and if they do, awesome. But if they don't, then it's not up to him. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything is done by design. Daniel Bryan, I would have to believe, is happy to be back. He's happy to be back, right? He's happy to be in the ring again, right? So I'm not saying he would settle for, jerking the curtain. Obviously. But at the same time, if you told him he was going to, do you think he would care? He's back. It's what he wanted. He's getting to relive his dream again. He's getting to come back, and he's doing it on his terms, man. None of this happened because he was forced to, because he was told you got to get back. He wanted this, and now that he's back, he'll roll with the punches. You want to know why? Because he's a professional. Okay, imagine that, a guy that's a professional and works within the system to make headway and to get up the ladder. Okay. Now, obviously, Daniel can do it. He did it before. Now, at the same time, by the same token, I will say this. It is entirely up to that company. And we as fans can sit back all day long and want the best for him, and I do. I want the best for him because I think pound for pound, when you consider work in the ring, promos, image, ability to sell merchandise, which is what they care about. They care a lot about that. And don't anyone out there be upset over WWE for wanting to make money. We have this thing. And trust me, man, I've been a fan since before I could walk. And like I said, and I've said this many podcasts before. I came up old school and I came up watching Jim Crockett Promotions, and I feel like I know what real pro wrestling is and always have. But dude, they're not in there for, we're going to deliver a great pro wrestling match. Well, obviously they want to. And any company that's got half a brain in its head, anyone on top of any company would say, we want to deliver a great, show and put on the best that we absolutely can. But you know what the most important thing is at the end of the day? Money. So don't fault WWE for wanting to turn a profit. And when I tell you that Daniel Bryan's good for business because he moves merch, you know what? You should take that and run with it because it's the truth. Now, the real key for Daniel is going to be, is the company going to look at him as being accident prone, injury prone? How about that? Are they going to say that he's Dolph Ziggler in that regard? I don't know, dude. Step by step. He wants to go match by match. Obviously, he would. The company wants to take him that route. And let's be honest, that should be the case for anybody on the roster, right? No one should be like, oh my God, we have this guy, and dude, we gotta jam him up there, man. He's gonna be the next big thing. Let's go. Sound familiar? Not gonna mention names. Don't want to upset anybody out there. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Anyway, I don't really care if I upset anybody. It's totally cool. I care less. Anyways, you have to let things happen organically. Daniel got over because it was a very organic process. It was a natural growth. It was a progression. He exploded and got red hot. Okay, but at the same time, he worked his whole career to get to that point. So for anybody to sit there and say, Daniel should be automatically the top guy or he shouldn't be, dude, just let things happen. Just sit back and watch it happen. And like I said, I've said this before also, man, I'm happy for Daniel. I'm happy he's back, and let's see what happens. All the best to him, of course. I'm anxious to see it. Talk about someone getting red hot. Here's an opinion that doesn't fly with a whole lot of people out there. And hopefully we get some more people watching here. Who knows, man? Hopefully y'all are still listening. So, by the way, and I usually plug the shows at the end of the podcast, but I'll do a couple right now. If you are watching this on Facebook Live, you can listen to this anytime you want to. We're on iTunes. We're on iHeartRadio, Amazon, Android, Google Play, Windows Phone. Just look up Boink Studios or look up Tom Clark's Main Event, and there you will find us. So there we are. So yeah, no worries there. But getting back to what I was going to say before, man, talking about someone getting red hot, and I don't know if this opinion is going to be all that great to anyone listening. I don't know that Rusev is over the way people think he is. Ooh, right? I talked about that on the show. I don't care. Come at me. Listen, here's my point. The internet has helped a lot in terms of the business. I think anyone behind the scenes in any of the companies, especially WWE, would say it helps. However, the internet has also been a hindrance because it's give voice to a lot of people who have no place having a voice. Because some people are sort of dumb when it comes to pro wrestling. God bless them. And the problem with being dumb about pro wrestling is you really have no business writing columns about it. Just saying. At least know your stuff, or attempt to know your stuff. Everyone on planet Earth is convinced that Rusev is over. Why? Because they chant Rusev Day and they cheer for him when he comes out. Let me ask you a question. If the Rusev Day thing never happened, if he never said the words Rusev Day, if people didn't find it funny, and people don't like to chant, we all know that's not true, right? People loves to chant, okay? So seeing as how people loves to chant, let's say that the Rusev Day thing never happened, would he be getting the pop of a lifetime right now? The answer is no. No, he wouldn't. No chance. No chance in hell. Every time I say no chance, my head immediately goes to that song. I watch pro wrestling too much, man. It's crazy. And people call him over. People say he's over. Rusev is over. Is he really? listen, I put this out there on Twitter and I got blasted. And a whole bunch of people disagreed with me, which at the end of the day, I guess that's what matters. If you have fans disagreeing and fans are the paying customer, and it's up to the fans whether or not a guy is truly over or not, then maybe I'm wrong. I'll take that. That's cool. If that's what it is, it's what it is. Yes. But I still don't know if I see it. I like Rusev. I think he's got tremendous upside. However, I don't know if he is as hot as everyone says he is because of two words, because of Rusev Day. All of a sudden, he's the second coming to Daniel Bryan. I think everyone needs to relax. If you want to know what the company's opinion is of Rusev, you need to look no further than his booking. That's always the case, right? First, he's facing Undertaker at the Greatest Royal Rumble. He's not going to face Undertaker. Now he's going to face Undertaker again at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Okay, so I'll leave you to decide for yourself what happened there. If I had to venture a guess, and this is just me talking, I don't know. I don't have the inside scoop on this. If I find out, I'll let you know. But if I had to venture a guess on this whole deal, I would guess and say that at some point Jericho makes the comment to somebody backstage that, listen, why am I in this match? Rusev is who you need. He's your guy. Okay? You don't think that Jericho would step aside in a situation like that? I mean, I can't speak for him, but I would say probably, maybe. I mean, right? Why wouldn't he, right? Jericho's been there, done that. So as of right now, today, it could change again suddenly. But as of right now, today, yes, it's going to be Rusev versus The Undertaker in a casket match, no less. Let me ask you a question. Wasn't a casket match at one time like the cage match where it was meant to settle the feud? Did Undertaker settle his feud with a casket match? Am I crazy? I don't know. But if you want to see what WWE's opinion is of Rusev, look no further than his booking. He's back in this match. It's a high-profile match. It's a huge show. They're promoting it as such, right? Huge show in Saudi Arabia. On April 27th, by the way, on a Friday night. I think it's at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock that night, something like that. I could be wrong. But I know it's the 27th. But they must have faith in him that he can get in there and make this thing look good. I don't know why you would put him there with Taker, unless it's to get the rub from Taker. A lot of people are looking at Rusev right now and saying, why don't they just turn him face? Why don't they just turn Roman heel? Shut up. Let it go. My God, calm down. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. But then again, when Bray Wyatt was getting the biggest pop of a lifetime as a heel and people were cheering for him as a heel, why didn't they turn him babyface then? Let me tell you what I've discovered in 8 years of doing this online, okay? Come close if you can't hear me. Bring the phone closer if you can't see me. Don't do that. I don't advise that. I got a face made for radio, brother. Where was I? I think I've lost my place. Oh my God, that's hilarious. You know, whenever I'm doing this without the nonsense of a live feed happening, I can just pause the podcast and say, screw it, where was I? And edited the thing together. Can't do it right now, right? That sucks. So, screw it, we'll just roll with it. So, Rusev, I cracked myself up. Isn't that pathetic? So, Rusev, and Undertaker, I legit lost my place. Rusev and Undertaker at Greatest Royal Rumble. Alright, so, I think that this thing could go either way. I think that when it comes to what kind of pop, I mean, Rusev's obviously going to get the Rusev Day pop because people loves to chant. We covered that, right? People loves to chant, right? So they're going to chant. They're going to chant their hind ends off, okay? Because they love this guy. Well, they think they do or whatever. But the minute Undertaker starts giving it to him, you're going to kind of forget that you like Rusev because you love Undertaker. You see what I'm saying? To me, that's the measure of whether or not a guy is over his babyface or not. Just me talking. But going back to what I was saying earlier, this is WWE's company. And this is where I was going. I found it. Yay! Old people. What are you going to do? I've been doing this for about 8 years online. And I'm going to tell you something. You can lose a lot of sleep a lot of the time over why WWE does this but doesn't do this. How come WWE does that but doesn't do that? Dude, let me tell you something. You're going to make yourself crazy. Don't do it. Whoever you are, don't do it. It's not worth it. Trust me. I know because I've done it. Back in John Cena's prime, when he was, I guess he was WWE champion, Randy Orton was world champion. I and a lot of other people had a lot of headache and a lot of heartburn over how come John Cena's not turning heel? That's crazy. Listen, I did it too. You're not the only one out there guilty. All of you. Every single one of you. I did it too. But then something happened. And I can't tell you that I had a moment of clarity. Hell, maybe I did have a moment of clarity. I sit down one day to write the upteenth column, once again referencing the fact that WWE refuses to turn John Cena heel, okay? Because it was a point of fact that we debated and we did for years as pro wrestling fans, yes? And suddenly I just thought, who cares? Who cares anymore? Accept it, man. Accept it and move on with your life, dude. Here's what I'm saying to you. For everyone out there losing sleep over Roman Reigns not turning heel, first of all, relax. Life's too short, okay? No sense giving yourself an aneurysm over something you can't control. I don't understand why we do that. Why do we do it as a society? I don't know. We lose sleep over things that we can't control. And we have a really hard time trying to figure out things and trying to decipher for ourselves the good and bad of something when we really don't have a say in it. And if we do, our hands are tied anyway. That's where we're at right now. Do you get what I'm saying? Relax, okay? Second part of this is, for those of you out there going nuts that Roman's not turning heel, after you've relaxed, breathe, close your eyes, take a few good deep ones there, okay? Understand this. He's on top for a reason. Not because he's really popular, but because WWE wants him there, okay? So, you can fight that if you want to. And like I said, give yourself an aneurysm. Have fun in the ER. Dying, okay? But you're wasting your time, man. There's no point in it. As a pro wrestling writer, as an analyst, which is what I consider myself to be, an analyst, I have to look at this thing and I have to be honest about it. WWE wants him on top. Vince McMahon wants him on top. Let me deal with what I know to be true, what I know to be fact. Roman Reigns is employed by that company. He's the top guy. He wins more than he loses. And people hate his guts. I know this. I know all of these things combined. He hasn't gotten a fair shake in terms of his character. Number two, he tends to sabotage his own character every time they put a mic in his hand. Okay, these are all things that I know. I also know he has heart for the business. I also know he wants to get paid, like they all do. I want to get paid, don't you? Okay, I know all these things. So since I know all this stuff, that's where I have to come at it from. I can't come at it from, well, here's what I would do. First of all, I'd fire Roman. Dude, stop. Just stop. Like I said, you're going to make yourself crazy. And if any of you out there writing and doing this on the side or for a living or whatever, and you write those kind of columns, shame on you, because no one wants to read that crap. Do you know what I'm saying? Since when did I get so preachy? Only since forever. I don't care, man. Whatever. It's whatever. I'm very hostile today. I read some things and I listened to a bit of a couple of podcasts on the way home. And, well, they didn't sit too well with me. How's about that? I wasn't very happy. So when I don't get happy, I tend to vent. So, there I am venting. And, I can't help it, man. Just how it is. All right. So moving back to where we were again, Rusev. Is he over? Is it working? What's up, Rod? Hot Rod. World's Greatest Referee is on my Facebook Live feed right now. Very cool. Very cool. By the way, Rodney, in case you guys don't know, I've done shows before where I've talked about the good old UWA. I was going to call it UWF. We had a guy. For any of the rest of my audience who doesn't know what I'm talking about, bear with me. We had a guy named DL Cool. And DL's on commentary one night. I don't know what happened. But he's no, he wasn't on commentary. He's in the ring on the mic, right? And DL was an old timer, worked for NWA, WCW, WWF. He was a job guy. Great guy, too, man. I never had a bad word to say about DL. He was fun to be around. Good guy, right? And he has the mic, and he said that he loved the fans. He loved being here in the UWF. Dude, to this day, I cannot stop laughing about that. And we're all just kind of looking at each other at commentary table, and I'm like, what did he say? Did he say UWF? It's cool. No one cared. It was fine. But how did I get off on that? It's crazy. But good times, man. I miss the old days. I say old. It wasn't that long ago. I feel old right now as we speak. But anyway, fun. I loved it. Had a blast. So anyway, man, back to Rusev real quick. I like I said before, he was cool. Like I said before, man. And if any of you guys have ever read my stuff or ever listened to my shows, first of all, thank you. God bless you. All right? We appreciate your business. I don't come at this thing with a personal agenda. I just don't. If I tell you I don't know that Rusev is crazy over because people like a catchphrase, doesn't mean I don't like the guy personally. I don't know the guy personally. Couldn't tell you. Okay? And it doesn't mean I don't want him to succeed. I want every guy and gal and I've said this before multiple times on the show. When you're in the business and you're risking your life and you care about what you look like, you care about what the show looks like, you care about making the match look good and putting the other guy over, you're risking your life every time you get in the ring, I got nothing but respect for you, and I hope you succeed. For real. I hope it works. I hope you get over, and I hope you make a ton of money. And I hope there's as many pro wrestling companies as possible turning a profit, which is not easy, right? But I hope there's as many companies out there as possible turning a profit, because the more places there are to work, for the men and women in pro wrestling, the longer pro wrestling is going to last. And that's what I want as a fan. That's what I want as a writer. That way I get to keep watching. I get to keep writing about it. And someone out there is going to pay me money for my opinion. Imagine that. So it works for everyone, okay? That was very selfish, wasn't it? So, no, I wish nothing but the best for Rusev. If I tell you I don't know that he's crazy over because people like his catchphrase, it doesn't mean I don't want him to get over. It doesn't mean I don't want to see him with the title at some point, perhaps. But I just think we all need to just relax, take a breath, man. Tranquilo. There's a New Japan reference for you, baby. Tranquilo. Take it, man. Take it easy, man. One step at a time. Do you know what I'm saying? Just be cool. Be easy with it. So that's all I'm saying about it. What else happened in the Superstars shakeup? I have WWE.com actually up on the laptop because I cheat when I podcast. I can't say I cheat. I'm not much of a cheater. Sometimes I'll have notes. Let me tell you something funny, man. When I first started doing the show, and I can't remember when I started doing the show, I'm 88 episodes in, so I'm approaching 100 this year, which will be cool. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully have a couple good guest stars lined up. When I first started the podcast, man, I would have like notes. I had a lot of crazy notes. And then it suddenly hit me like 5 or 6 episodes in. Wait a minute, I write about this stuff every day in my life, and I have notes? What? So I just started using my columns as reference points, which made more sense than anything else in the world. And a friend of mine online suggested that to me. Imagine that too. So let's talk about a little bit more. I think SmackDown came out, in terms of who came out better, Raw or SmackDown. SmackDown came out, that's right, man. Mention EOD. Oh, by the way, dude, Baron Corbin owes us some money. Someone tell Steele that Baron Corbin owes us a ton of money, okay? Should have had that crap copyrighted years ago. I'm just saying. I wouldn't have got a cut of it, but I would have helped everyone else get their cut, all right? I got pulled. I don't really have any pull. It sounds good, though, right? But, yeah, completely ripped us off. But I think SmackDown came out better because they got some NXT talent, yes? Andrade Cien Almas. If you have not watched this guy work, and hopefully you have, he's very good. He's very good. Zelina Vega, who is his mouthpiece. And again, it's going to sound like I'm throwing shade at somebody, and I don't mean to. Maybe I do. I don't know. She's a distraction for me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think, my personal opinion, all right, when you have a manager, you have a mouthpiece, you have a valet, an advocate, whoever that person may be, whoever they're called, whatever they call themselves, whatever the company calls them, they need to be an enhancement. They need to help embellish the match. They shouldn't be a distraction. I believe she distracts quite a bit of the time. Just me talking. I like them as a package. I just wish there were moments when maybe she backed up a little bit and just let him do his thing. That's just me talking. Maybe the company feels like they work better together. They have to keep them together. I don't know what the answer is to that. Just my take. It's funny though, because, a lot of times managers were bigger than the guys they managed, like DDP, yours truly. Sometimes I was as big as the guys I managed, or maybe even bigger, which was weird. So she has to be really tiny because Almas is not a big guy. But as a package, I like them. I don't have anything really negative to say about them. But if you've not watched Almas work, you got to take time, man. He's very good in the ring. He's going to be a nice addition to SmackDown. They brought up several talents from NXT. Sanity is going to be on SmackDown. Now listen, you can get upset at this all you want, and you can make comparisons and say that Sanity reminds you of somebody else from another company or whatever it is, and that's fine. Can we just be honest about something right now? There's no such thing as an original idea in pro wrestling anymore. I'm sorry. Am I wrong? Everything's been taken. And if it hasn't been taken, it's an aspect of it has been taken. Okay? And that's bottom line. That's just how it is. And, there wasn't an LOD before LOD, but they borrowed, the idea of a bruiser. They took it from here. They took it from there. They may have had their own style. But since the LOD, there have been a bunch of LODs. There have been a bunch of Road Warriors, okay? There were guys drinking beer and being foul-mouthed and being, kicking butt in the ring like Stone Cold before Stone Cold did it. But after Stone Cold, there was a bunch of Stone Colds. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard to come up with anything original these days. And the only thing you can hope to do is take an idea that maybe has already been used in the past and maybe just do your own personal spin on it. That's really all you can do, man. What else have you got? So I will tell you this. Eric Young is very good. If you didn't know any better, you would swear Eric Young is out of his head because he's just that good. He just gets it over so much. Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane. I mean, dude, as a package, they're so good. A lot of people upset because she wasn't with them. Let me tell you this. I think that for the company to do as much as they did on the air, on SmackDown, and on Raw, it's a lot of work, okay? And there was a lot of stuff in the draft that you didn't see on TV. There was not draft, Jesus. The Superstar Shakeup. And, again, it's a lot of work. I'm okay if you don't know anything, if you don't know everything right off the bat. I'm still one of those guys that likes to be surprised. And because of that, I like to wait and see how things are going to unfold. People were upset that Nikki Cross didn't come with Sanity. Okay, so, well, wouldn't it be much cooler when Nikki Cross just, boom, shows up, slides into the ring, starts going nuts? And by the way, someone else who's extremely good at what she does, you can take that crazy Looney Tunes gimmick and you can put it on anyone you want to. But if they don't have the potential to run it and to make you a believer, it's not going to work. And you can say that about any gimmick on the planet, dude. You can say that no one could have been Goldust besides Goldust. Well, that's true, but at the same time, no one could have been Adrian Street except Adrian Street. Do you see what I'm saying? No one could have been Dusty Rhodes except Dusty Rhodes. No one could have been The Undertaker except The Undertaker. You can run this stuff however you want to, and you can call it whatever you want to call it, but when a gimmick works, it works. You got to have the right person running it, okay? And they could have put this crazy Looney Tunes gimmick on Nikki Cross, and it could have fallen flat on its face. It didn't. You want to know why? Because she's very good at it. She makes you a believer, man. Pro wrestling is all about connection. If you don't know what pro wrestling is, first of all, it's weird that you're listening to this show, but that's cool. Thanks for the download. But if you don't know anything about pro wrestling is just a connection. That's it. Pro wrestling is the one true American art form. And that is a fact, okay? It is a moral play of good versus evil, right versus wrong. It's about people connecting to each other. That's what pro wrestling is. And if you're not a fan, maybe you don't get all this stuff, and that's cool. Maybe you've never given it a chance. I would encourage you to give it a chance. Let me know. I'll hook you up with some matches. Trust me. To watch, right? But that's what it is. It's a moral play of good and evil, right and wrong, and it's about people connecting to each other. That's what pro wrestling is. At its finest, at its best, that's what the business has always been about. Yes, it's about making money, but how do you make money? You make money because the people in the crowd chose to get out of their chair, chose to get up off their couch, to drive across town, to drive out of state sometimes, whatever the case may be, and drop $10 to $200 to come see your show. Dude, that's a big deal. I mean, not a lot of families have a lot of disposable income these days, and some never have it, okay? So to expect people, to ask people to come all that way to do that, dude, that you better be offering something nice to look at. You better be offering a good product, okay? And for someone to leave their home, to drive that distance, to come see you, give them a good show, okay? And the only way you make money off any pro wrestling company is that on the show that night, on that card, somewhere on that card, you have a talent or 2 or 6 or maybe every one of them, hopefully every one of them. But in most instances, it's a handful of guys or gals who connect, who can look through the ropes, who can look past the ring and hit you eye to eye. Do you know what I'm saying? And make you feel it. Every time Dusty looked in the camera, I felt that. Goosebumps right now. I feel it to this day. I'm always going to feel it. That's why I'm always going to be a fan. If it ever gets to the point where no one's grabbing me like they used to, I'm probably going to stop watching. But there's still a lot of men and women who appreciate how it's supposed to be done, who appreciate that it's an art form, and will do everything in their power to make you feel it. To make you feel it, right? To reach through. Remember when Dusty, my hand is touching your hand, right? Oh my God, the gathering. To this day, it makes me tear up. I can't help it. As a kid, I'm in my floor, swear to God, reaching my hand to the TV. I've talked about this on the show many times before. Dusty was my father figure. I lost my father when I was 4.5. And big long story behind that. I've never made it a secret. But Dusty was my second father figure. He was it. And he was there for me for a lot of years when my dad couldn't be, right? And when he looked you in the eye and said, come on with me. It's going to be all right. You believe in me and I'll make it happen. Jesus Christ, man. If you don't feel that, you got a hole in your soul, Jack. That's the truth. You got a hole in your soul and ain't nobody can feel it either. That's the truth. So the moment you can't connect anymore is the moment that you're done. Okay? You have to feel that connection. You have to be able, and I remember going to see Raw. This has been years ago. It might have been Vengeance. Vengeance came to Charlotte. It was the year that they were doing the ECW thing. Sabu was there and he worked John Cena, and I was so upset that Sabu didn't do anything. And, you know, people can blame John. Everyone blames John for everything. Are you kidding me? It's John Cena's fault. Whatever, dude. I mean, it could have been a combination of they told Sabu, you need to calm it down. You know, don't do the flippity-flop stuff with John because John's not going to do that and John's going to win anyway. I don't know. Who cares? But I was kind of looking forward to seeing Sabu doing the flippity-flop stuff. So that kind of sucked. But I remember that Triple H and Shawn were doing the DX reunion thing. They were together, yes, with the glow sticks. And there was some idiot in the audience who stood up the entire time with the X over his head. The entire time. I'm like, dude, if we were at Raw, this would be a commercial. What are you doing? They did it through everyone's match. I'm thinking, this dude is so drunk, it's not even funny. How he was able to stand in one place, I have no clue. So at one point, Shawn has done this for years. I think Shawn has done it from the day he started. He's up on the second rope where he claps his hands and he points out like that. He makes eye contact with me. Do you think he knows who I am? No chance, okay? I see that. Already ripping on John. I see you, Rodney. Jeez. But Shawn didn't know who I was. I was just some random dude in the crowd. And his eyes, he wasn't looking for me personally. But the best know. The best know without having to be told. They learn it or they feel it or they're born with it. I got to connect to make people feel this and to make people appreciate me and to be glad that they're here. He made eye contact with me just as he did with 100 other people that night in the crowd, I'm sure. And I just lifted my hands to him and pointed at him, and he gave me a quick point. That was it. That's as far as it went. I didn't try to get his autograph or anything like that. I'm not a stalker, all right? But it was a very cool moment. And like I said, I've been doing this stuff. I've been writing about this stuff online for 8 years now, okay? I know what he's doing. I'm not stupid, but it was a very cool moment. And I said, you know what? This is why pro wrestling still gets me. Because they still have the ability to look at you, to make a connection, And I was thinking about this on the way home because my head's always stuck on pro wrestling. I'm a joy to be around. Let me tell you, it's all I ever talk about. I'm reminded of that constantly. I'm just saying. But you got to make me feel it, right? You got to make me feel this. If I don't feel it, I'm not going to have that much fun watching. And I'm certainly not going to have that much fun writing about it. I need to feel this stuff, okay? I'll give you an example. People ask me all the time. They say, Tom, who are you a fan of? I don't know that I'm a fan of anybody, man. And that sounds like a cop-out. It sounds like something silly to say. I really don't know that I'm a fan of anybody. I am a fan. But WWE is a pro wrestling company. They can call it what they want to call it. I don't care. Sports entertainment. Wrestling theater. Fine. Whatever. I don't care. Am I a WWE fan? I watch a lot of it. I write about a lot of it because that's what people want to read about. So I write about a lot of it. And they're the biggest game in town. So yes, I write about it because of that too. Am I a WWE fan? I don't know. Maybe. I guess. Sure. But if you say to me, Tom, who you're a fan of? I don't know if I go down that road, man. Because let me just tell you this. And I can't speak for every pro wrestling writer out there. And if anyone out there is listening to this or watching this or whatever, and you write about this stuff, maybe you have a different take than I do. I am a fan. But for me to sit there and write column after column after column about, oh my God, this guy's amazing. This guy's the best. This guy's so good. I love this guy. I love this girl. She's amazing. I don't know. I mean, I've done what I call praise pieces in the past where, you write it because you're really high on somebody and you tag them on Twitter and you tag them on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? We've all done it. Yes. But I don't know, man. I feel like you can get that anywhere. I feel like you can get that sitting on your couch watching Raw with your best friends. Hey, dude, who's your favorite? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I hate Roman Reigns. He sucks. Well, me too. I hate him too. We can all do that, can't we? Can't anyone just do that? I mean, I'll be honest with you. You have to give people something different. You have to give them something else. This is just me talking, okay? You have to give them something different. You have to give them not so much a backstage perspective, because yes, I've been in the business for like 10 minutes or whatever it was, and it was great, and I loved it, and I have great memories of it, and made good friends that I miss, by the way. But I need to give people something else. So what I do is I pick a column or I pick a topic, and I'm an analyst. Like I said, it's what I do. It's what I consider myself to be. I pick a topic, I give you my take on it, and then I tell you where I think it's going to go. But then I'm not done. Yes, because I got to give you the other side of it too. I'm going to give you the other side. Well, listen, if I'm wrong, here's what could happen. Bam. So now you've got every conceivable, what I believe to be, every conceivable outcome of what's going to happen with this particular storyline right there in front of you in black and white, whatever the case may be. And then at the end of the column, it is up to you to make the decision on how you feel about it. I'm not saying my way is the best way. I'm not saying that I'm revolutionizing the way pro wrestling is being written about. Whatever. I'm not. I need more money if that's the case. But anyway, I digress. I'm not saying that at all, but I don't know if there's a better way. I don't know if there's a better way. I think that I've read every other possible outcome that I can have. Thanks, Rod, for the love. I appreciate it, man. Sweet. That, you know what, when you get compliments from guys that know what they're talking about, it means so much more. Not that compliments don't mean a lot coming from other people too. They do. I appreciate it. But coming from guys who know what they're talking about, awesome. So, but I feel like I feel like it's my responsibility to give you something you can't get talking to your bro on the phone. I mean, anyone can sit there all day long and say, well, John Cena's stupid. Roman Reigns should be fired. He sucks. Well, Jesus Christ, man. Is that all you got? God in heaven, dude, give me something more. How about talk to me about, okay, listen, I don't much care for Roman, but I'm going to tell you what. Here's what could happen. Bam, there you go. Okay? I'm just saying, give me something else besides what you're reading and what you're hearing all the time. I often tell stories where it starts off with me saying, I got into a little tiff with someone online. I tend to have tiffs online. You know who you are, okay? If you're listening, I'm still upset at you. I'm not really upset at you. I don't really care about you anymore, but it's whatever. But I got into a little back and forth online recently, and I think I mentioned this on the last show. I'm pretty sure I did. And someone came at me a little bit with some teeth. and I came right back at him because I'm not going to be intimidated by anybody. Sorry, not going to happen. First of all, don't try to put me in my place, and I won't try to put you in yours. How's about that? How's about we all act like adults? You have your opinion, and I have mine. If you'd like to debate me, let's debate. If you are so closed-minded that your way is the right way and everyone else around you is wrong, then you're a moron, and don't waste your time talking to me. Make sense? Good. I thought so too. See how hostile I can be? It's insane. Can't help it. It's who I am. What are you going to do? I don't know. That's how it is, man. So no, I don't know that I have any favorites. But let me give you another example. I wasn't exactly very high on CM Punk when he first came to the company. And I never really could put it into words. I knew a little bit about him before he got to the company, but I didn't know a lot about him until later, right? But I, like a lot of other people, heard a lot of different stuff about him. Oh my God, this CM Punk, he's so good. Tom, you have to see him. I saw him. And I said, that's all? Really? I waited for this? And John Cena said as much on CM Punk's DVD. He said, that's it? He didn't say it disrespectfully. But he said as if to say, you got to step up your game, kid, if you're going to be here. That's sort of the way he was saying it, and that's fine. But that's sort of the way I was coming at it too. And I didn't really start to care about him until the Jeff Hardy angle. When Punk came out that night on stage, painted up like Jeff Hardy, and just burned that crowd, came out doing the thing, with the hands and had the paint and all that, just got in the ring and just tore Jeff in half. I said, this guy cares about what he's doing. This is not just a guy that's trying to get paid. This is not just a guy that's trying to get over. This guy cares about how he gets over. He wants to do something. He wants to do this right. And for the first time, I really saw it. I think maybe I saw glimpses of it in the past with him. But that was the first night that I really started. I had watched CM Punk, but I had never watched CM Punk. I did. And I loved it. Okay? I held on through the SES stuff, which I loved, the Straight Edge Society. I thought he was in his prime in that deal. Doing some amazing work. When he dropped the pipe bomb, which he hates, by the way, obviously. But when he did that night on Raw, I said, this guy has come light years above where he was when he first came to the company. Now, why am I telling you all this? To tell you this. I say that to say this. You have to be able to evolve in your opinion. You have to be able to change your mind. Okay? None of us can sit back. Let me back up a second. You can if you want to. If you want to sit back and be stuck in one moment for the rest of your life as a pro wrestling fan and say, by God this and by God that, you know what? Mazel tov to you. Have fun. I don't really care. It's fine with me, okay? But you're not going to be very happy, right? You have to be able to evolve. You have to be able to move to the next step. You have to be able to change your opinion. Boy, that's a tough one for a lot of people, huh? Change your opinion, baby. Find a way to do it. That's what it's about, right? I wasn't high on CM Punk. I saw him develop. I saw him get better. He changed my opinion, okay? To where I was like, dude, Punk's got it. He's got it. He's got it. He has it. That's it. He never lost me after that. He had his ups and downs. He walked out for a lot of reasons that you can't really blame him for. By the way, just a quick step back on this topic if we can. To this day, some people are still pissed off that Punk walked out. Let me ask you a question. At what part of your brain makes you believe that it's a good idea to trust a billion-dollar company over one guy? One guy. There's a danger in that. I'm not saying you should always side against said billion-dollar company, but I think people were way too quick to criticize, to persecute, to dump their frustration on Punk when the guy just wanted to live a normal life. How's about that? Okay? Imagine someone wanting to live a normal life. Nonsense. Childish, immature garbage is what it was, and I hated every second of that crap. Okay, I really did, and I still do. You had to be able to be open-minded. And if you can't be open-minded as a wrestling fan, you're going to spend a lot of your time unhappy, baby. Because there's a lot of stuff that company does that a lot of us hate, and we can't stand it, and we wish sometimes we just want to quit watching. Hard to do, right? Because we love pro wrestling. If you're like me, you love the business, you can't stop watching. Just how it is. So let me get back to what I was talking about before, because I keep going off on rants here. It's funny. I'm not going to cover the entire Superstar shakeup here with you. You've got your Google machine. You can go check it out, right? Do what you got to do. I will tell you this. I do, as I said before, I think SmackDown came out on the better end of it. I think that I love seeing the Fashion Police on Monday Night Raw. I just like them. I can't help it. They remind me a lot of the New Day because they were put together because the company just said, we don't really know what to do, so you just tag with this guy here, go. Which is what they did with New Day. And New Day said, fine, you don't want us individually? Screw it. We're going to be the biggest act you have. And guess what they did? Awesome. And I think Fandango and Tyler Breeze could do that. There again, as is the case with every single talent that they've ever signed, everyone that's on the roster today and 60 years ago, it's in the booking. It's in the booking, okay? If the booking is not there, nothing is going to work, okay? That's the key to remember. Before you start bagging on anybody, before you start taking your aggression out on any superstar that's not tickling your fancy enough, just remember that the key is in the booking. How about looking at the company first? And guys like Jim Ross will say things like, well, it's up to the superstar. The company can't cure everything for you. The superstar has to, has to be the one to make the move and has to be accountable for his own actions and stuff. I get it. Who am I to disregard what Jim Ross says? Jim Ross has a lifetime in this business. I got 10 minutes. And yeah, and look where he's been. I got nothing but positive things to say about Jim Ross. However, I will say this. It's hard to listen to him on a podcast. Here's why. Jim Ross, just like Taz, just like a couple of other guys, Edge and Christian to a very small, not as quite of a big extent. Austin does it a little bit, not too much. I feel like Austin's more respectful out of the bunch of them that are podcasting these days. I still get that vibe of none of you fans know what you're talking about. None of you. Sorry. None of you know anything. Dude, just stop. You think you're so smart, you don't know anything. Stop. I get that a lot. That's the vibe I get. And you know what? If I were on that side of the fence, maybe I'd feel the same way. If I'd spent, 40 years of my life working behind the scenes, working in WWE, WCW, Mid-South, if I were that guy, maybe I would get tired of all the nonsense and all the arrogant attitudes that are on this side of the fence. Maybe I would get sick of it. Maybe I'd have that attitude. Maybe I would feel like, you just need to stop. All of you just need to stop. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not smart. You think you are. You're not smart. We know you don't. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think he's wrong. However, I don't think I'm wrong either. I don't think I'm wrong in being insulted by that. I don't think I'm wrong in wishing they would just let that part of this go. However, I don't think they're wrong in bringing it up. I don't know what you're going to do. I often compare what we do as pro wrestling writers and as pro wrestling fans, how much we love the business, our passion for the business. I often compare it to other sports. Like if you follow the NBA, if you follow the NFL. I mean, how many times has NBA analysts been called out? And I know it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Don't get me wrong here when I say this. But how many times have players sat back and said, well, those guys are just idiots. They don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm sure it happens, right? Does it happen to the degree that it happens for pro wrestling writers? I don't know. I'm not trying to say, oh, woe is me. Let's all break out the tissues for Tom because he's crying about it. I'm not saying that, but geez, man. Like, well, you know what you're talking about. Okay, fine. Can we move on now? Can I make my point and you just sit back and just consider me stupid? Whatever. Like, hear me out. How's about hearing me out for a change? I heard you out, right? I watched you every time you cut a promo. I paid to see you. I watched you on TV. I bought your shirt. You can't give me 2 seconds to say something in rebuttal? I don't know. But maybe that's me being too entitled. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe as pro wrestling fans, we just feel so entitled that we By God, I am entitled to my opinion. I'm going to give it. Is that what it is? Are we all that bad? I don't know, man. But I'll tell you this. I think that's how they're looking at us. I think that's how they're looking at every one of us. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. And then I'm going to take this home. Because I've rambled forever. It's like over an hour here. Hey, man. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you. The judge, everybody. Give a hand for him. So, I love this show. This is fun. I got to do this more often. But while I'm soapboxing, let me end with this. Okay? There's too much hate among pro wrestling fans. Okay? This thing, and dude, if you've listened to my show before, you know I've ranted on this, but I'm going to do it again because I may never stop doing it. All right? Listen. Stop calling each other marks. I got news for you, my friend. If you were on this side of the curtain, you are a mark. Period. Peter Rosenberg is a mark. Sam Roberts is a mark. I am too. So are you. Get over it. We all are. Want to know why? Well, Rosenberg and Roberts may be the exception because they're actually in WWE sometimes. Bad example? Perhaps. Who knows? They're not on the other side of the curtain. We're not on the other side of the curtain. Do you understand? We're not. And anyone not on that side of the curtain is a mark. It doesn't mean the boys hate you. It doesn't mean they think bad of you when they see you with your kid in the front row. Then they go, what a jerk that guy is. I hate him and his kid. I hope they rot. You suck. No one said that. It doesn't mean they look down their nose at you. But to them, you're a mark. When they see you, you're a mark. That's who you are to them. Stop using the word mark as a bad word. The word mark is being used as a curse word between fans, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. I've never got it. I'll never understand it. Stop doing it. Stop doing it to try to make other people feel small, okay? Because here's what I've discovered, not just about pro wrestling fans, but people in general. If someone is small, they're not going to need a lot of people to point it out. Because it's going to show. It's going to come out in the wash. Do you understand? If you're small, really all you got to do is just open your mouth and everybody's going to know it. Get that? So quit trying to insult people by calling them names. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, anyway. All right, well, this was fun. I don't know how this thing is going to listen. I always listen to the show after I do it. Not because I like the sound of my own voice. Maybe I do. Who knows? But I do it. I want to get better. I want to keep delivering good content. So I will listen to this. I got to keep reminding myself that not only am I on live feed, I'm also recording this for posterity's sake. Well, for the podcast anyway. All right, so before we split, let's take it home. Let's talk about who we are, where we come from. Boink Studios again. You can find us on boinkstudios.com. Give us a follow on Facebook at Boink Studios. Like the page and all that good stuff. Check us out on Twitter at Boink Studios. If you'd like to drop us a line, it's boinkstudios@yahoo.com. You can find me all over the place. I'm at Wrestling Rumors. I'm at the Chairshot. I'm at Camel Clutch Blog. I'm at Daily DDT. I think I'm at 4 right now. Yeah. So 4 is all I got time for, baby. That's it. All right, man. That's it. We're taking it home. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Much love to you. And we want to see you back next time. So be sure you tune in next time. Maybe on Facebook, but definitely on the podcast. Check us out. Tom Clark's Main Event. And keep those cards and letters coming. I don't know why I said that, but that's good stuff. That's old school. So that's it, man. We're out. We will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.